Hi, this is Jed Johnson. Thanks for checking out my YouTube channel today. Make sure you check out dieselcrew.com for a very interesting post on rope training. And as you know, with rope training, generally the common method for battling the rope is with an up and down motion, something like this. Done with both arms at the same time. Also, you can alternate. And those techniques in and of themselves are very intense as they are. But what I'm going to show you right now is a couple of ways that you can change it up just slightly. The first thing that I'm going to show you is a 45-degree whiplash. What you're going to do is you're going to whip the rope at a 45-degree angle, making big loops. And your hands are going to travel in a figure-8 design. So here you go, 45-degree whiplash. As you see, with the 45-degree whiplash, the rope turns and covers much larger of a distance. Also, because you're whipping it at 45 degrees, you're bringing your core into it much more, and there's more energy expenditure going on. The movement's much tougher this way and calls for much more engagement of the core and stability. And if you really whip it hard, you'll even bring your legs into it and your glutes. Now, I'm a big professional wrestling fan and have been for years. So the next thing that we're going to see is an Ultimate Warrior rope shake. And if you watch wrestling at all during the 80s, you know who the Ultimate Warrior is. And he would draw power by getting to the ropes and shaking them. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab both ends of the rope in our hands. We're going to shake them very, very violently. And you're really going to feel this one in your delts big time. The trick here, when you grab both ends of the rope, you're not going to face the rig. You're going to come off to the side. So you take a little step towards the rig, and then you just pump it up and down as if you were the Ultimate Warrior shaking the ring ropes. Really hits the delts hard. To maintain balance, you should always do both sides evenly, so go ahead and step around. So the waves that you generate with that technique aren't quite as high, but it's a different stimulus. Already, I can really feel the pump in my delts, much more so than if I just were to battle them facing straight on. For the next one, what we're going to do is we're going to just use one end of the rope and we're going to lengthen it as much as possible. So I'm going to change the rig up somewhat. We're going to hit some unilaterally for these next two techniques. So for this first variation, we have super long side laterals. Just grab the end of the rope, face about 90 degrees away, and we're just going to hit side laterals. And what we're looking to do is we're looking to kick this rope up in the air as high as possible, generate as much force, speed, and power, and really pump up the delts. Saw what I was doing there, slightly changing the angle of my body. That also changes slightly the angle that we're hitting the delts. Now I'm talking a lot about hitting the delts hard this time, but you're not just isolating the delts, you're also hitting the lat very hard, your rhomboids, traps, and also your chest are getting hit really hard because they've got to dynamically stabilize everything in the shoulder. So when you hit this, don't expect just a localized pump. It's going to hit the whole shoulder girdle. Okay, so up to this point, we've hit really the entire shoulder. We've hit the front, we specialized to the side. We've also got to do some stuff though to hit the back of the shoulder really hard. And this one is going to blow up your posterior delts and really hit the lats hard. This time, you're going to face completely away from the rig. You'll bend over, pick up the rope, take like a half step back because you want to have a little bit of slack in the rope. And then what you're going to perform is just like a posterior shoulder extension movement. And you're going to do it explosively, try to rip the rope right off of the rig. When you're done, if your posterior delt and your lats aren't blown up, then you just didn't do it right. Now you may be wondering exactly how many reps should you be doing. What I generally do is I go until I have to change my form, my mechanics. If I have to somehow cheat in order to get the movement, or if I feel that I'm losing a lot of power, then I just shut it down. That's saying that the muscle's getting fatigued. I don't want to overstrain it or anything like that. So I do cut it off at a safe spot when I'm doing these sets. You'll also notice that sometimes I don't get the beginning positioning exactly right. In that case, you just take a half step forward or back to the side and get the tension right on the rope. You gotta have good tension, but not too much. And if you don't have enough tension, then it's not gonna do anything for you. So you might have to step away just a little bit. So feel free to adjust. But I can't say enough, once you feel that there's like a burn in your muscle, or it feels like you can't generate the power that you need to, just go ahead and terminate that set. Even if the repetitions don't end up exactly equal on each side of your body, it's not really that big of a deal. Of course, you can always go ahead and review the video later to compare and see if your repetitions are much less on one side or the other. That could just mean that your mechanics are different. You set up in a way that there was more tension on one side, or it could mean that you have something going on in one of your shoulders and you'd be best off going to a therapist and getting that fixed. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. If not, then feel free to subscribe to my channel. I'd love to have you subscribe, and also check out dieselcrew.com for more information on building strength, power, muscle, and just feeling great. All right, all the best in your training. Thanks a lot.